This channel is only possible thanks to direct contributions from you, the viewers. Seriously, thank you guys. If you'd like to contribute, you can do so for as little as $1 a month on Patreon, or come pick up a t-shirt at the merch store. Links below. Hey guys, welcome to part 3 of our look at the Aspect Zodiac. Before we dive in, I should note that I'm the one who wrote the section on the 4 aspects we'll be discussing today, the mutables, with some notes from Arrghus. So pretty much the reverse of the last 2 videos, which were mostly written by Arrghus, with some notes from me. In any case, let's dive in. In the traditional zodiac, the mutable signs are set apart as changeable, versatile entities. If the cardinals are initiators, and the fixed signs stubborn and determined sustainers of reality, then we could describe mutables as perfectors or finishers, who tend to end any given task or product of reality. If we apply this mindset of flexibility and finality to the mutable aspects, we see some interesting patterns emerge. Heroes of all 4 aspects tend to be relevant in moments of great finality, bringing to a close epochs or chapters of the story. Gamzee is the workhorse that ends the strange eon-spanning plan to birth Lord English, and it is the karmic task of the Heroes of Hope to defeat Caliborn, marking his end and the birth of Lord English. Jake's overwhelming hope power also invokes the story's DBZ arc, leading to the grand destruction that is S Game Over. Similarly, Aridin obliterates the tenuous peace in the Troll's lab, ushering in Horrorstuck, and Solix's sacrifice ends the story of the Beta Troll session, ushering us definitively out of it. Mina has her biggest impact at the very end of the Alpha Troll session, stealing all their lives away, and her imperious condescension is similarly at her most relevant to Homestuck as Troll Society comes to an end, at which point she's contracted to bring about the end of humanity on Alpha Earth. All of that could be circumstantial, however. More compelling, I think, is the 4 aspects' shared motif of duality. The mutable aspects all exist in binary states, and dramatic shifts between the two seem like an inherent part of each aspect's experience. Doom's motif of duality is the most well-trod, with the captor's red-blue binaries giving way to the white-black of yin-yang, seen in the tumor and Solix's half-ghost self. Doom is concerned with the underlying rules that constrain reality, the boundaries that determine in what ways things are allowed or not allowed to exist. Alive or dead. 1 or 0. To be or not to be. That is the question, because as a result of this focus, Doom is interested in constraint and suffering as a state of existence, a common inheritance to all who are alive. One cannot exist while being impervious to the ravages of time and happenstance, and Doom collects all of the negative and painful eventualities a cognizant being will inevitably come across under the umbrella of fate, i.e., that which we are doomed to experience. This is where the materialistic/idealistic division it shares with Hope shines through, though. Where Doom is concerned with what the individual knows will happen due to the nature of reality, Hope is concerned with what the individual thinks will happen due to the nature of their mind. Hope players are explicitly defined by the Zodiac as black and white thinkers, a tendency that shines through when we look at their relationships to belief. Aridin's genocidal tendencies are powered by an all-consuming faith in the inherent supremacy of Sea Dwellers. Jake's forced bravado is driven by a hope that he'll somehow turn into an action movie star over the course of his adventure. When that hope is lost, the effects are drastic, such as with Jake's crisis of self-image in late Act 6, echoing Cronus' loss of faith in magic. But the zeal of their convictions can in itself be dangerous, as with Aridin's turn to nihilistic and selfish destruction. In other words, where Doom is more inclined to accept reality head-on, Hope is inclined to skew and distort it with its own ideas. Doom's fatalistic cynicism lends itself to a kind of no-nonsense bluntness. Solix informs his friends of their collective fates straight up, pretty much constantly. By contrast, Jake sows discord among his friends with his various lies, whether they're directly spoken or implied by omission. Not to mention Hope players' seemingly endless capacity to lie to themselves. Note their shared focus on the world and other people, though. Both aspects are focused on a sense of reactivity to the world around them, whether they're thinking about their desires for the world and the people around them, or their fears of them. It's just the opposite with Life and Rage. Both of these aspects are focused on action and the impact of the individual on the world around them. Rage's duality is the clearest here. The twin masks of tragedy and comedy that inform everything about Gamzee. Where Hope sees a deeply meaningful world of gravitas and legacy to inherit, Rage sees reality as a mere stage for the hero to perform in. Contrast the tragedy of Horrorstruck, with Gamzee at its center, against the comedy of Trickster Mode, with Gamzee always hovering in the background. Gamzee makes us laugh, or he makes us scared, or he makes us angry, but he always makes us feel something through what he's doing. We're given very little awareness of the interiority of Gamzee's mind. For all we know, there might not be any. What matters about Gamzee is the performance, and the consequence of each action the performer takes. Life is just as action-focused, but fittingly, it's much more concerned with the ideas and meaning behind the action. Broadly put, if the division between Rage's actions is between comedy and tragedy, then Life's actions are divided into good and evil. It's a division of morality. The dividing symbols here are the black-white snakes of Orin, the impulse to protect and preserve versus the impulse to dominate and destroy. The two alignments that cherubs, the most powerful life forms in paradox space that we know of, are predisposed to. The Pixies girls also capture this duality, with Feferi's innate predilection for benevolence and Mina's equal inclination for malevolence. Arrghus notes that cherubs actually arrange themselves into the Orin symbol for mating, and are prominently featured on the sides of the god-tier clocks that measure and determine life or death based on the subject's morality. The duality of life is further captured by Jane, who swivels wildly between an intense desire to please her friends to the point of becoming a doormat, and a suppressed desire for control and dominion that she only lets out once she snaps or gets mind-controlled over the course of her story. I think from here it's fairly easy to work out the relationship between Doom and Rage and Hope and Life. Life takes Hope's general optimism and faith in a meaningful narrative for oneself and spins it in a more proactive direction, and Rage does much the same thing with the frustration and constraint that the Doombound feel. Whether they seek to use their faculties to disrupt the systems that they feel constrain and abuse them, or whether they're just looking to hurt people or lash out. Arrghus leaves us with one final thought for consideration. Is it just us, or does the life symbol look an awful lot like a pair of green snake tails now that we have this information? Let us know if you think so in the comments. That's gonna do it for now, so thanks for watching this series on the Aspect Zodiac. I might have 1 or 2 more videos on the aspects covering comment responses that are particularly good, or stray thoughts that I forgot to include here or something. Let me know what you want to see. I hope you enjoyed following us along, and until next time, keep rising! Huge thanks go out to my patrons for making this video possible. If you want to help support the channel and come join us at our awesome and growing Discord community, feel free to join us for as little as $1 a month. You can also find me on the r/Hiveswap Reddit and Discord. That's all for now, so thank you again, and as always, keep rising.